Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user She Wants My Husband. A close friend, female 25, said she wants to seduce a married man. He turns out to be my, female 25, husband, male 31. They have a history I didn't know about. What are my options? I was at a dinner outing with friends. My friend Mary is very attractive and kept getting hit on. She usually can have any man she wants. She shows a lot of cleavage and has big breasts. This is nothing new for her, but we're all kind of jealous of her. I met her after I married my husband through her sister who I knew in college. This isn't a small town by any means. We live in a big city with a population in the millions, but I guess it's a small world after all. My husband also attended the same college and we met through friends there, so it's not shocking that he knows Mary. Mary and I are kind of close friends now. So we had drinks and Mary was pretty drunk, so were the rest of us, I suppose. All these hot guys kept hitting on her all night and Mary shrugged it off and said it's just a cleavage tonight. But she was being modest. She gets hit on when she's all covered up too. Anyway, that's when sex became the topic and one of the girls asked Mary if she had done anything non-conventional. Mary said she loves her body, and although she was saving that kind of stuff for her eventual husband, she did let one guy do things to her cause she was way into him. We asked her what happened and she proceeded to give us some details. It was crazy sexual experimentation and weekend hotel rooms, but she said he's married now and wants nothing to do with her. She said she would have married him in a heartbeat, but he wouldn't commit to her. Then she added that she has made advances, but he doesn't bite. We all started teasing her about going after a married guy, but we were all drunk, so it wasn't over the top and we didn't lecture her. She also said that judging by her interactions with him sometimes, she thinks he's going to cave and take her to a hotel again and F her into a coma. She was serious about this. One of the other girls got really quiet and kept staring at me. Later, she told me Mary was talking about my husband. I was livid, but she wouldn't let me betray her trust and confront Mary. I asked her to call Mary on speaker and ask her. She asked her in a joking way what possessed her to talk about wanting to F my husband when I was sitting right there. Mary laughed and said it was the alcohol. I asked my husband about Mary and he said they had a short fling that didn't last. But Mary described it as going on for over 2 years. I didn't know my husband in that time frame and he didn't know I was friends with Mary's sister until shortly before our wedding when I invited her to a pre-wedding dinner. I didn't meet Mary until around the same time. I asked him if Mary has ever made advances or flirted and he flat out denied any of this. He said she keeps a respectful distance. Now, I'm angry that my husband didn't tell me he slept with Mary right when I met her, but truthfully, I would have been angry anyway because I'm kind of jealous of her. I also don't know why she says it went on for so long and he described it as brief, like over a few weeks. Mary insisted that night that she flirts with him and has practically thrown herself, but that he hasn't bitten. She also said she thinks it's a matter of time. I didn't ask for details cause we were all drunk and I didn't know she was referring to my husband. I'm not sure how to handle this because my husband insists he doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, 2 of my friends know and they're telling me it was all drunk talk and Mary was just talking out of her ass, that I should just believe my husband and leave it alone. Mary comes to my house for gatherings all the time cause we are actually close friends now. She also runs into my husband at the gym often cause they both work out with similar schedules. I'm not sure how much to ask of my husband. Can I ask him to change gyms? Why is there such a disconnect between what she remembers and what he described? This is driving me crazy to another level. Should I have a sit down with her and ask her what actually happened? Well, OP, first thing is that she is not your friend. She doesn't go to gatherings to your house because she's a close friend. She goes to gatherings to your house to hit on your husband. Also, either your husband is downplaying what happened in the past out of shame or something, or she is overplaying it. However, there's also a saying that says that drunk people and children often tell the truth. So before talking to Mary, asking her any questions, or even confronting her, sit down with your husband and tell him to be open and honest about everything. True, you weren't part of his life back then, and he shouldn't have to share this information with you if he didn't want to. However, he should have said something the moment that he saw that Mary was going to be a part of your life. And I believe she should have told you the first time she hit on him while being in a relationship with you, because that's the right time to cut somebody out of your life. You don't want that kind of people either hitting on you or befriending your wife. Also, while you're clearing everything up with your husband, you cut her out of your life. As I said in the beginning, she's not your friend, so the both of you should be cutting her out of your lives. And what do you guys think? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Deleted says, F no, you don't leave this alone. You confront Mary. Tell her she was out of line and she isn't welcome in your home, either ever again or for a while, your choice. She should be considered armed and dangerous in terms of being a threat to your relationship. Not because your husband will cave, as I don't think he will, but just because of the way she admits to throwing herself at him and admitted to your face that she wants to have an affair with your husband. You can't tolerate that. You need to kick her out of your and your husband's lives. The only thing I do agree that you should let go is the idea that your husband is going to give in to her any day now. I do think she was talking out of her ass on that one, and you have nothing to worry about. The truth was when she said she has made advances but he doesn't bite. The drunken exaggeration to boost her own self-esteem was when she said it's a matter of time. So I don't think you need to worry about your husband, only about her. Good riddance to bad rubbish. And OP responds, I asked Mary's sister and she said that it lasted about 2 years or longer between Mary and my husband. She said she only met him a couple of times and didn't remember him, although he looked familiar when she finally met him through me. My husband told me it was a brief fling. Not sure what to think about this. Owls and Cardinals says, I agree with other posters here that she is pretty diabolical and truly a dangerous friend to you, even if your marriage is secure. Cut her out of your life. Tell her why or don't, it doesn't really matter, but avoid her entirely. Tell your friends you won't be spending time with her and ask that they let you know if she's going to be somewhere like a party or dinner so you can skip it. If your friends don't at least support you in this, even if they don't also shun her, find new friends. And yes, I think you are within your rights to ask your husband to change gyms. Just explains she is obviously way more hung up on him than he ever was, and has a very different recollection of their time together. You've heard it directly from her lips that she wants to screw him, wouldn't hesitate to if she had the chance, that she's made attempts. You are well within your rights to ask this. And I really hope he's supportive. He should be as shocked as you are at the total discrepancy in their memories of their fling, and just as grossed out at her willingness to betray her friendship. One Kate says, this isn't an issue between Mary and your husband. This is an issue with a supposed friend who disrespected you, mocked you to your face knowing that some of the people at the table knew who she was talking about, talked about wanting to F your husband and actively pursuing him and not respecting him, and laughed at you. F that. Who cares what your husband's perception of her trifling ass is? She's out. Stand up for yourself. Imagine she replaced a married man with your husband and went into all that detail about what she'd done and was continuing to try. You would have told her off and walked out and then cut her out of your life, I hope. Well, that's what she did, except she didn't even have the guts to say it outright. Tell your husband her behavior was not forgivable and tell Mary that you are done with her crap and won't allow her to be in your life anymore. Additional information from OP's comments. Mary has to go, but I would like him to tell me the truth. I have to say that if half or even a quarter of what she says is true in terms of their history, it's pretty disturbing. It was intense between them and it kind of drives me crazy. I want to know everything, but I'm also afraid of what I'm going to find at the same time. Although I'm not out of my mind jealous over this and angry at him for no reason, the big question I have is why did he hide their history from me and let me become close friends with her? Now, asking him to change gyms is going to be tricky because I don't want to be an overly jealous and crazy wife. I already asked him to change gyms once before because I was insecure about some of the girls who worked there that were constantly flirting with him. Even when I was there, they would hit on him. They were a little too aggressive, so I asked him nicely to put my mind at ease and change gyms, and he denied being hit on. He's just not aware sometimes. He never knows when a girl flirts with him and it drives me up the wall. He shrugs off major things from girls, but he was very sweet about it and changed gyms and never complained. So now I'm going to look totally crazy. Okay, well, the community spoke and OP listened. Mary's gotta go. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Let me begin by saying a few things about my husband. He is very good looking and gets a lot of attention. It's not just me saying it cause he's my husband. He does stick out for his looks. The other thing is that he's an idiot and doesn't know when he's being hit on and gets hit on a lot. I also have a problem with jealousy because I'm insecure. Sometimes I get mad at him because he gets too much attention from women and he never has any idea why I'm mad at him. He drives me nuts because he never changes things up. He gets coffee at the same place. If he wants a burger, same place. If he wants a bagel, same place. Salad, same place. I understand some of this, like for haircuts, but he never goes to a variety of places unless I practically force him to. The problem is that if there happen to be girls behind the counter, they get the wrong idea and that he's there to see them, and he's had girls give him their email or number even though he wears a wedding band. The other day I walked into a coffee shop with him and the girl said, "Hi honey boo," to him. Then she complained that he had not been there in 3 weeks. Now, he did introduce me as his wife when that happened, and the girl turned red and apologized. He told me that she had never called him that before. He's not like a model, but we live in a big city where a lot of modeling agencies are headquartered and he looks better than models, I think, and many women agree. He has the prettiest eyes and he's fit, but he doesn't know how to do his hair and looks like a nerd most of the time, but it works for his career and it works for me. He's also too nice and women take this the wrong way. I'm working on getting him to be more of an a-hole to people. Just kidding. I just want him to be less nice without being a jerk. Now to the issue at hand. I asked him about the discrepancy in the timeline between him and Mary. He admitted that it lasted months and probably more than a year, but that he remembers it all going by so quickly, but he never thinks about it, so when I asked him about it, he didn't think it was important. He doesn't see his time with her as emotionally significant. He also says he runs into her at the gym a lot, but that he doesn't talk to her. Sometimes she walks up to him and will point out that some floozy is checking him out. She calls women that look in his direction floozies. I asked him if he would change gyms and the look on his face was worrisome. I don't think he wants to, but he said he would if I really wanted him to. Now I'm afraid my jealousy is going to push him too far. I confronted Mary and she apologized and said that she still has feelings for him. She shocked me by telling me we shouldn't be friends and she wants to stay away from me and my husband cause she'll never get over him as long as we're in her life. She's actually requested a transfer to the East Coast and it was granted at her work. She will be gone for 3 years. It was pretty friendly and she was respectful. She's not leaving for another 4 months though. Now, I have to confess that there is just one problem with my conversation with Mary. I asked her for some details and this was a mistake. She asked me if I was sure and I said yes. She met him because he was involved with a friend of hers. This girl was a stripper in a very upscale place that's known around here. The stripper brought in Mary for a threesome with my husband. This became a regular practice until Mary developed feelings for him and stole him away from the stripper girl. The details about the sex stuff was way worse than I thought. I also could tell Mary was getting satisfaction out of telling me all the details. I could tell she knew she had this over me. I was like a willing hostage because I didn't walk away from this conversation and she knew this, so she took full advantage under the guise of honesty. This made me feel worse and more inadequate. I always thought we had a great sex life, but now I think it's only been great for me all this time. I asked my husband about all the sex stuff and he confirmed. I was annoyed and asked him why he never told me about this stuff and why he never told me about his history with Mary. He said he was afraid of telling me about Mary. He didn't think I'd take it well. He also said if Mary had been inappropriate with him, he would have immediately sat me down and told me. But I'm afraid he doesn't know what appropriate is. I also asked him why he never told me he was into all that stuff, the sex stuff he did with Mary. I told him that I felt sex with him was boring for him. He said he thinks sex with me is great. When he talked about what Mary said, about the things they did with the stripper and later alone with Mary, he said that he never set out to do any of that. He said it was stuff that happened as opposed to stuff he went out to do. Not sure what the difference is, and it's not much consolation right now. However, I don't think I'll push this topic because I don't think he likes talking about his sexual past. It makes him uncomfortable. My other friends didn't know and don't know. Two of my friends know about Mary and my husband, the one who gave me the heads up, and Mary's sister. Mary's sister is married now too, so she kind of takes my side, though she loves her sister and is best friends with her. Anyway, I'm lucky that he's loyal to me. All his friends gloat about what a loyal person he is. His male friends all admire that about him. Also, he has never accepted numbers or emails. He has been offered, but he shuts them down once he realizes what their intentions are. But I get angry at him when girls hit on him, so that's something I need to work on cause it makes me bitter. Then I feel guilty about it later. So that's it. Thank you all for your advice and support. Well, OP, from everything you said, it sounds like your husband is one of the good guys. And you need to remember one thing. There's a big difference between sex and making love. I know it may sound corny, but there is a big difference. And also, it's a good thing that you recognize that you need to work on your insecurities. So hopefully you can find somebody that will help you with that. So all the best to the both of you, OP, and thank you for sharing. Take care. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user Conqueror. Revenge against my neighbor never felt so sweet. New neighbors moved in about 2 months ago, a young couple. The walls are paper thin and they love to blast music and sing really loud, but they sound horrible. Their bathroom is right against my bedroom wall and they'll sing at the top of their lungs at 3 AM or when I'm in a Teams meeting. I've asked them if they could keep it down multiple times, but they just ignored me and called me an a-hole for having a problem with them being happy or singing. Or told me to get a pair of noise-canceling headphones. I felt like they have no respect for their neighbors because the other guy next to me doesn't want to hear them screeching at the top of their lungs either. So yesterday I borrowed a pair of speaker towers from my buddy and pressed them against the wall facing the wall. Put it on full blast and started playing Bird is a Word on repeat from 8 AM sharp when there is no noise ordinance against noise. I also talked to my other adjacent neighbors before doing this and they were all on board. The wall even trembled. I definitely woke them up after their late night yesterday. Every time the song ends, I could hear them banging against the wall telling me to shut up. They came knocking on my door extremely pissed off and I just told them, "What kind of a-hole are you that you don't like music?" and slammed the door. I'll keep blasting Bird is the Word until 10 PM and start it up at 8 AM sharp tomorrow. I'll then cool it if I see they stop screeching moving forward. OP's quick update. The other neighbor on the floor, not the ones we were having issues with, and I went out for beers, and when we came back, the troublesome neighbors were waiting outside because they'd got fed up with hearing about the bird. I think they got the word. We finally had a mature discussion. I told them the issue isn't so much their music or singing, only when they do it past 10 PM and when I have meetings. I told them they could keep doing it, but if I knock on the wall, that they please be respectful and stop. And just in case you didn't know yet, the bird is the word. Well done, OP. They definitely got the word. Thanks so much for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.